And here's the 4-position chord of the song. Alright, so that's the 4-chord arrangement, and we're going to look at that here. So in the previous segment we talked about these diminished chords, and after he plays that final set, you continue with the dead thumb for a little bit, 3 strikes on the 5th string, and in that sequence he starts the next phrase, early this morning, when you knocked upon my door. Alright, and that's what we're going to talk about here. So I'll play that. It's tricky getting the voicing in on time. So it comes in after here, and I'll play that last segment. Early this morning. And it comes somewhere there. I don't know if I could slow it down for you, but it's early this morning. And he leads into that chord, and he's still on this 5th string. He plays that 3 times before jumping into this D7 F sharp chord. And before he does that, he plays 3 notes on the top string, and it's going to be the top string open, the 1st fret top string, and then the 2nd fret top string. So it's early this morning. Somewhere in there he says the words early this morning, and then you're going to go ahead and play the D7 F sharp chord. And this is a really strange, super jazzy chord. Really what he's doing, it's a very hard chord to teach. But essentially he's playing half of a D7 minus the bottom string. Okay? So he's playing essentially this. But what you want to do is you want to play the index finger on the 1st fret 2nd string. Your middle finger is going to move up to the F sharp note here on the top string on the 2nd fret. And your ring finger is going to play the 3rd string on the 2nd fret. So that's a D7 F sharp. And it's like a jazzy style way of playing it, and it features across all of his songs in A. And the way he plays that is he plays it as a double stop. So I have it laid out in the book, is that you don't actually play it like this. You play it as a double stop using this dead thumb technique. So now the thumb is going from the 5th string up to the top string, the 6th string, and you're also playing the dead thumb technique. Alright, you're playing the dead thumb technique there, and you're pinching together this double stop. So you don't want to play the 5th and 4th strings at all. They're not supposed to be played here. You're just playing this double stop. Alright, and we'll go over that. So that sequence then begins like this. Early this morning, woo, when you knocked upon my door. See, it's played this is very characteristic of Delta blues sounding. It's rough, muffled, and capturing the very essence of Johnson's environment. So he was such a classic Delta blues player. So he plays this sequence actually in successions of 6 notes. So this lead up, you play these 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, and then you play this chord 6 times. And it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in the tablature, he walks up to it like this. He plays the 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then before he goes into that chord again, he leads into it by playing either the open string on the top string, or you could play the top string on the 1st fret. And that's a portion where he goes, and then I'll sing over those so you can put it all together. This morning, woo, when you knocked upon my door, when you knocked upon my door. So that's that 4 position, and that's the music terminology is that when we were playing these diminished, we were in the 1 chord. This is a 1, 4, 5 chord progression. So now we're looking at the 4 chord, the 4 position here. So this is the D chord in that arrangement. So we're taking care of the D chord arrangement there. So now we're going to go back to the 1 chord. And after he plays this chord, he plays an A7 variation, a smaller chord, variation A7 chord, which you're going to find, and that chord is going to be found here. You're going to find it on the, let's see here, you're going to finger the index finger on the 5th fret, 4th string. Your middle finger is going to go on the 2nd string, 5th fret. And your ring finger is going to play the 3rd string on the 6th fret. So you're going to play this chord. And you can play the whole chord if you want. And in this song, that's a variation of the A7 chord. Before he transitions to the next stanza, he plays this. He plays it a series of 3 times. So after this D chord, he resolves in this A7 chord. He plays that and he lets it ring out. After he lets that rings out, he's still playing this dead thumb technique. And he plays that 7 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he plays that 3 times. So this sequence, he doesn't sing in it, and it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3. That's that portion. And then he's going to play the 5 chord position. So you're in E this time. Over an E chord, he's going to play a really dead thumb technique. You're going to play you're just going to, in this sequence, it will sound like this. And I said, hello, Satan. I believe it's time to go. And that portion, after he plays this, from this chord he goes, and I said, hello Satan, I believe it's time to go. And what he's doing there is, in this portion, and I said, hello Satan, you're going to be playing the dead thumb technique on the top string again, but your index finger is going to be chording the, you're going to be fingering the 5th string on the 2nd fret, but you're not going to actually play anything there. You're just going to position it there, and the top, your thumb is going to be playing the dead thumb technique on the 6th fret open. I mean the 6th string open, excuse me. And you play that 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, and it's, and I said, hello Satan. Then you go to this D combination. I believe it's time to go. So he goes into this D7 chord. He plays that 6 times. And then he does a kind of lick into an A natural chord. So from this D7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to find the 2nd string 1st fret. You're going to pull off of that, play the 2nd string open, play this 3rd string open, and go into an A major chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in all it's, and I said, hello Satan, I believe it's time to go. And that's the way that sequence plays out. After he plays that, he goes back into this turnaround, which we learned in the introduction. And then we'll go into the next stanza, which again kicks off the same way. Me and the devil, baby, was walking side by side. And that continues the same. The next time he goes into the D chord, he does something differently, and that's what we're going to look at here on the next segment. Okay, so we're picking up on the next stanza where it's me and the devil, baby, we've been walking side by side. Me and the devil, ooh, we've been walking side by side. Alright, and this portion, we're going to look at that. So after this diminished run, he leads into the 4-chord position here, the D7 F sharp chord, like this, playing those 3 notes leading in on the top string. It's the top string open, 1st fret top string, 2nd fret top string. And after he plays that, he finds the 8th fret bottom string and he bends it, playing it with the index finger. He plays that 8 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times, and then he ends on the bottom string 5th fret, plays that twice. Me and the devil, woo. Alright, so that's that alternate way of playing the 4 chord, the D7 chord position there is a brief stop there. Woo! Start singing there. Then you're going to proceed back to this A7 chord. And you're going to play that, continue with the dead thumb technique, and then he plays it again, and then he's sitting in there a little bit. He does a little finger picking motion here. So you play that first, play the dead thumb, then you play it again, one time with the dead thumb, and then you do some finger picking here, and it'll be the second string. While chording it, you play the second string, the third string, 1, 2, play the chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that portion altogether would be like this. And it can be played loosely. So after he plays that, he goes back into this progression on the 5-chord position, the E. And I'm gonna be my woman till I get satisfied. And that's that introduction. Again, then he plays the next stanza, which is again back to the diminished chords. You may bear my body down by the highway side. You may bear my body when I'm gonna be dead and gone. You may bear my body down by the highway side. Alright, and that just carries over to the remaining stanzas. But you've got basically the core components of this style of playing in the key of A. Very jazz inspired. And this is the easiest song from all of his stuff in A. Now this, we're going to cover Kind-Hearted Woman next. And Kind-Hearted Woman is just taking what we learned from Me and the Devil blues, and it's adding a little bit more components to it. There's more complicated chordings in there. There's a solo in there, and that's what we're going to cover in the next segment. But for the most part, I feel like I've demonstrated everything that you need to know to play this song. What we wanted to capture with Robert Johnson's music was the dead thumb technique. And when you have that, you'd be a lot more comfortable with playing in rhythm and in timing, which is very essential to Delta blues music. And it's also going to help you when we learn his more complicated works like Crossroad Blues, for example. So that wraps up this lesson. If you haven't already, definitely check out the new ebook. This song features out of the ebook. It's a collection of 10 songs. It's my finest work yet. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's 66 pages long, covers his essential works. Now I'm going to be working on volume 2, which is going to probably be available sometime in February. It's going to be another 10 songs. So there's going to be 20 songs from Robert Johnson's catalog. But we are going to eat, sleep, drink Robert Johnson all of this winter. So definitely tune in. If you subscribe to me on YouTube or like me on Facebook, you get all of the latest updates and news coming out of Delta Lute Music, new lessons, new releases, new news about ebook releases. I always post some cool videos with the Facebook community. And your support keeps my dream alive of preserving this great music. So the more support I get, the more momentum I get going, and the more incentive it is to put this all on paper and add to this library. So once again, thank you for following me thus far and tuning into my lessons. If you have any questions, I really appreciate all of your comments. constructive criticism. Everything is well appreciated, and really love to see all of the outreach from all over the world. I think it's awesome to connect with people from Europe, from Australia, and just digging out this great treasure that's here in America, this music that's just sort of in the ground right now. So with your help and outreach, I'm able to bring it out to light. So this is Delta Lou signing off, and we'll see you next time.